And welcome back to the O Hockey Show. Now today I'm going to throw my hat into the ring and tell you my opinion about NHL 23's top 10 rated goalies. Now they've released the list of the top 10 rated goaltenders. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about the rankings. So let's start. Should we start from the bottom or the top? Let's start from the top, because why not? Let's start off with Andrei Vasilevskiy. Now, they've given him a 94 overall, which is like, what, tied or like right behind Connor McDavid is like the top-rated thing in the whole player in the game. And he's definitely the #1 overall goaltender in the game. And for me, I couldn't agree more. I personally have the opinion, like I'm a president candidate, I am of the opinion that I do believe that Andrei Vasilevskiy is 1, the best goalie in the world, 2, the best goalie ever. I mean, this guy is unbelievably awesome. 94 goaltender. If that's going to be the highest a goalie can be rated, I'll take it, because Vasilevskiy deserves it. And I don't think a lot of people would really disagree. However, some people I know think it's number 2, Igor Shesterkin at a 92 overall. Now, for me personally, I've said, if you're watching this, I don't know how much of a fan base, a following I have. If you are a follower, thank you. But also, I don't know why I meant to go like this. Thank you. But I do not believe, I'm not of the ilk that one good season is a good make for a player. And Igor Shesterkin has 92 overall. Now, yes, I know he led in goals against average and save percentage. I get it. That's awesome. Igor Shesterkin, amazing goaltender. But for me personally, I don't think he's really like the goaltender. If you're going to put him against some of these guys down here, I personally would rather go with a lot more people on this list than Igor Shesterkin. So for me, I guess I do believe that a 92 overall is warranted for the season he played last year. But for me, I have a feeling that he should probably more be placed at like an 88 overall, and then if he can play just as good or just, pretty good this year as well, then a 92 would be warranted. Shesterkin is an amazing goaltender, but at 92 for one good season on an amazing team like the Rangers, it's just, for me personally, just like, I don't know if he really deserves a 92 yet. I don't know if he deserves to be placed above some of the guys on this list. So let's get to the first one. I'm okay with 92 for Shesterkin, but the first one on the list that we're going to run into that I'm not entirely sure is Conor Hellebuck. Now, you can't really tell, but he's in purple. The green numbers mean I think they're okay. Purple means I don't know, and other colors, red means no. But for Conor Hellebuck, I'm kind of conflicted. He led this year in saves and total shots against. Conor Hellebuck is an amazing goaltender, and he's always been one of the highest rated guys in the game, in real life and in the NHL games. So for me, I've always liked Conor Hellebuck, but at the same time, I just don't feel like he is that guy. For me personally, I guess maybe it's kind of like the Carey Price effect, where Carey Price will make amazing saves, but I think what it is that guys like Vasilevskiy can, he makes, his behind-the-back save, his makes some amazing, remarkable comeback saves, I guess. For me, I guess what it is that Conor Hellebuck never really gets caught out of position like that and never really needs to rebound. So, I guess For me, Hellebuck is sure a 90, but I don't think he should be rated highly above other guys. He's kind of like he's the best solid guy. He's not I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Conor Hellebuck, because he is a good goaltender, but I don't really know if he's a 90. I'm kind of conflicted on Hellebuck especially being the number 3 rated goalie in the game. That's what confuses me, is I don't think he's a number 3. I don't think he's the 3rd best goalie in the NHL. That's what kind of confuses me. Moving on to a guy that could make a name for it is Jacob Markstrom at 90. So Jacob Markstrom at 90 I think is fine. I think that's a good number for Jacob. I think with the Flames, his emergence, I think 90 is a solid number. I feel like Markstrom and Hellebuck kind of take up the same space, where they're just there's just solid goaltenders. Are they really the guys that you would probably put in the net during your playoff run? I don't think so, but but he will give your team a chance to win. But I don't really feel he would steal you games. Well, at the same time they would, because they're good goalies. But you know what I mean. They're not like Vasilevskiy and Shesterkin and other guys I'm going to name later on. But for me, they're just like, they're solid goaltenders, but I feel like they're not going to, for me, I mean, I might be completely wrong. Tell me all down below how stupid I am. But for me personally, guys like Markstrom and Hellebuck, they're not going to, like, steal you a game. They will give you the best consistent performance, but they're not going to steal you a hockey game, especially a playoff game. That's just my feeling. So let's go on to number 5, John Gibson. Now, Gibson, for me, is the first one that I think 90's fine, but I feel like it should be higher. I think 90 is fine, but just... For me, John Gibson is unfortunate to be on the Ducks, especially during the Ducks in their decline, because John Gibson is a freaking amazing goalie. He makes some amazing saves, and I would much rather put a guy like John Gibson, who will steal you games, above guys like Markstrom and Hellebuck. John Gibson, I think, might be the most underrated goalie in the game. He is so good, and the thing is that people know he's good. If he was with any other team, or at least a team that could actually be given a chance to win, like if he was instead traded to, let's say, the Wild. Let's say the Wild picked him up instead. Gibson on the Wild, I could only imagine how that could go, because Gibson is freaking phenomenal, and I think 90 is fine for him, but I would like to see it higher. And now, the same thing goes for a guy like Thatcher Demko. For me, he is the next super goalie. Okay, actually, that's not true at all. He's an amazing goalie now. 89 overall, he's the first guy to be under 90. He needs to be higher up there. I think Thatcher Demko, once again, it's unfortunate that he's on a poor team. If he was on a more solid team than the Vancouver Canucks, oh my god. Thatcher Demko is one of the most just dynamic, skilled goalies I can see. Guys like Markstrom and Hellebuck, I feel like, in my mind, being a player, I don't, like, being a hockey player, the way I think about it is, like, Markstrom and Hellebuck are, like, the solid brick walls. Guys like Thatcher Demko are, like, I don't want to say soccer goalies, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're, like Markstrom and Hellebuck are brick walls, while Gibson and Demko are, like, and Vasilevsky are like cats, like throwing like a ball at a cat. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel. Like, they're skilled goalies, and then there's brick wall goalies. It's just Hellebuck and Markstrom are kind of brick walls. Guys like Gibson and Demko and Vasilevsky are like cats catching a ball. And so for me, 89, he needs to be higher up there. I mean, yeah, I would just say higher up. I don't know where at. I would say at least 90. I'd say at least 90, because Thatcher Demko has earned his spot to be a good goalie. Especially when it comes to playoff hockey, where things are really meant to, where people come to light. Guys like Thatcher Demko shine in the playoffs. So Demko needs to go up. UC Saros. For me personally, I do not buy totally into Saros. I think he's a good goaltender, but I just don't know if I'm 100% on page him being above some other goalies. But I feel like UC Saros isn't, for me, like an 87. I would say an 87 or maybe an 88 just for his really good season. I feel like an 88 would be good for him. But 89 is just kind of, I wouldn't put Saros, but I don't know. Saros is good. I'm definitely not saying they're bad. But for me, Saros just isn't an 89, almost a 90 goaltender. You know, I wouldn't put him in that category. Another guy that I feel like is a little overrated is Freddie Anderson. 89 for him. He was really good this year. The Hurricanes had the least amount of goals scored against them between Ronta and him, I think. I'm pretty sure. So, for Freddie Anderson, I like him. But 89, I feel like his numbers are better reflective for his teammates in front of him more than him. But Anderson's still a good goalie. I feel like for him, an 88 would be good. I would put an 88 at Anderson. Ilya Sorokin is another goaltender like Shesterkin, where I'm like, I don't know, they only had one good year. But 88 overall for him is where I would put him at the end of this year. I feel like for his one good year, I would put him like at an 87 or 86. I feel like 88 is probably perfect it's probably perfect to please fans, but just for his one good year, I want to see him at least have 2 good years. And I know he's played during the bubble, but I don't know. I would say 88 is fine. It's fine. It's not what I would give him, but it's fine. And then we got Sergey Bobrovsky at an 88. Bobrovsky, for me, a lot of people still rag on him. I still think he's a good goaltender. The 88 is too high. I would give him an 86 or 87. 88 is too high. 88, I would say, for me personally playing the games, 88 and above is probably like this is like good goalie. And then anything 90 above is like, well, usually that's like peak, and there's a lot of them in this one. But for me, 88 and up is like, 87 is like normal goaltender on a really good year. 88 and above is like good goaltender usually, and then they like have like good games. But Sergey Bobrovsky, I would put in like the 86, 87, where it's like this guy is on a good team and he is good, but he's not gonna be like amazing. So for me, an 88 is too good. But I want to talk about some guys that they didn't put on this list. Let's start off with guys like for the things for like Shesterkin, guys like Saros, like Sorokin, is Jake Ottinger. Jake Ottinger is the next best goalie in the NHL, and they don't even put him on this list. I don't know what his overall is. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's been released or what. But for me, Jake Ottinger, maybe it's because he only was good in the playoffs, but he had a good season as well. He was just outside the top 10 of each list, but guys like Saros is barely on one, and then it missed the other. So, for me, Jake Ottinger, maybe once the season starts and they update the rosters, they'll give him a good number. But for me, Ottinger is already an 87. Because this kid, holy God, holy crap, Ottinger is freaking amazing. Freaking incredible this guy is. So Ottinger needs to be on there. Darcy Kuemper, I would say people think that he thinks that the Avalanche made him look good. He didn't look good because of the Avalanche. But this guy made the Coyotes get to the playoffs. So why does Darcy Kuemper not make his name on this list? He brought the Coyotes to a playoff round and won them a game against the Avalanche and won them a series. Kuemper should be on this list somewhere. He's an 87 at least, an 88, 87. Maybe because of the Avalanche, I would say give him like an 80. Give him an 87 at least. Now, guys like Tristan Jari, right? Jari and DeSmith, they were both, at least Jari was on the top 10 of each goals against and save percentage. Now, I personally don't think he is a top 10 goaltender, but if some of these guys, they are basing off of kind of those stats and stuff, why does guys like Jari not make the list? Guys, also, Swayman and Ullmark, if they don't give those both guys at least an 85 to 86 each, I don't know what to say. And guys, one thing I'm really confused by is guys like Marc-Andre Fleury. Where the heck is Marc-Andre Fleury on this list? The guy is still amazing. And I guess he had a bad year because of Chicago, but then he moved to Minnesota. Like, where is Marc-Andre Fleury on this list above guys like Bobrovsky? So, Marc-Andre Fleury being off, and then just a name that I want to throw out there is Karel Vejmelka. This guy, he actually had good numbers. He actually had somewhat decent numbers, especially at the first half of the season, playing for the Coyotes. So why does a guy like Vejmelka not get on? Well, he's not a top 10 goaltender, but I know they're not going to give him a good stat. I'd be surprised if they even give him an 83. This guy, if another team trades for him and they make him their number one goaltender, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is going to. He's like, I feel like he's like a lump of coal. And because of the Coyotes putting so much pressure on him and teams pounding down on him, he is going to be a diamond once another team picks him up in Vejmelka. But that's just some food for thought out there. So I guess if you enjoyed watching this video, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike. But go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am for some of my opinions on this list. And yes, just tell me how stupid I am down below. And until next time, I've been your dapperly dressed host, Owen. Too sweet. I hope you're having an amazing day out there. And ta-ta for now.